What,
Yeah, but the committee is 7.
could be 7, there's only 5 that's been
Oh,
appointed.
so then we're good. Okay.
We've got 3 here.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the Human Resources Committee meeting minutes, March 6th.
I'll make a motion to approve the Human Resources Committee meeting minutes.
Motion by Hackworth,
Second.
second by Wyland. Anything in discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any public comments? Anybody online? You're here for the closed session meeting, correct?
Yep. Or no, not. I don't know. What's the only clue deal?
Okay, we'll move to the next. Do we have any unfinished business before we go to new business? Staff?
No? He doesn't list any anyway.
Okay. I guess that's a good question. Can we have him here during the closed session?
I don't think that would be normal protocol. I guess one thing maybe before we start, just so everyone on the committee knows, we should spend more time probably on onboarding and discussing how meeting conduct maybe should go. I'm not gonna tell you I'm an expert on meetings, but I guess just understand that agenda items are put there so that there can be discussion in a public meeting setting. And whether or not they are listed as new business, unfinished business, whatever, you can take action, decide not to take action, defer it to another meeting. So there's no need to feel that there is pressure or a expectation that there's action taken on any particular item, any final action. I guess the other thing would be that a committee's actions are all advisory to the board ultimately. So that's the function of all committees, the HR committee, Public Works Committee, Finance Committee, Park and Recreation Committee. They all make recommendations to the board. So I guess the hope would be, and I know it's been commented on that you know, the work then would be done by the committee, and that, you know, the board then should really, depending on the board's philosophy, I guess they would be the one that would
Robin.
accept the
Just pass it.
Sure.
accept the
Robin down.
recommendations.
Robin, over here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm late.
So I guess with that, if there's more things that we can do to get you information, or I can do, we do have an employee handbook that I know we probably have not, it's never been shared with the committee, I don't know. So that's probably something we should do every year as we get new members on each committee. So I guess with that, along the same lines, you can either choose to go to closed session or not go to closed session. But we have some discussion we want to take up, kind of following the closed session discussion from our last meeting. Later on the agenda, we had the proposal to, discuss approval of some job descriptions in the public works parks area. One of those being a proposed new position of crew leader. So when we create that position or not, I guess that discussion could take place in open session, but I think discussion of the individuals would need to take place in closed session first.
It does need or does not?
Should.
Should. I'm not on the board, so I'm here to listen, but didn't know if we were gonna have quorum, and we certainly do. Some of what Keith is talking about is some discussion we had today. Because I feel like our committees and commissions don't have, proper, up onboarding. And, so when I first saw this last week, my comment was, it just seems like all this work is done already. And now it's gonna come in front of the HR committee. And a month and a half ago, we were talking, I think, about directors. and then it went broader, and then it went to the CDLs, and then I don't even know if you're aware of this unless you saw some of the minutes, but a week or two ago, we went into some changes from the maintainers to operations for the CDLs. And then that got changed, and now it's almost, I felt this morning, and this is the discussion, I'm not gonna bring up any names, but I felt we're now switching gears and now going to the senior operators, right? Because they weren't touched at all the last time.
So I guess, I don't know if you were here, I think it was the February meeting, when we were in closed session, I know there was a question, I think Robin asked it, or Linda, one of you, about specific individuals, and I said, that's a position we'll be bringing at the April meeting. So I guess that's what that was the intention of the crew leader position is, it was known, I guess, at that February, or I don't know if we had one at the beginning of March, but with the intention that was gonna be coming back to the April meeting. So I guess if that wasn't communicated out well enough or discussed at that time, I guess that's on me for not, but it wasn't, it's not a reaction to anything that happened over the last.
Well, I want to comment to that then, because with all the comments and all the dialogue that I had previous to this agenda coming out, and if that was done at the committee meeting and you said February, and I don't think I made that one. I mean, nothing was said.
It was the March meeting.
It was nothing was said at all the last 2 weeks about this, and now all of a sudden I see it here. If the committee remembers this discussion from 2 months ago, I'll stand corrected. But I don't remember any of this. And I also, the last time we met as a board, I don't remember anything talked about with the maintainer change to operators. And I was told at the meeting by several that this was all started and already talked to. My questions to the administrator was if we've done this and we've moved people from maintainer to operations, which is a promotion, and they're getting raises, who has talked to them and who has told them that? You thought maybe Michael had. Michael, you weren't here. I got Dan was online and I asked Dan and Dan couldn't remember. I have a feeling that nobody had talked to these people, yet here we are approving it and nobody had talked to these people.
Yeah, so there's always I don't know, maybe.
I'm gonna ask you the question.
Yep, you're asking me.
So how I'm asking you, was that talked about to the employees?
So there's two parts of that. One is,
No, I kind of want a yes or no.
not specifically, but here's why.
Okay, so we have 33 employees here total.
Yep.
Okay, 33 total employees, including the directors. And that was all being discussed about their jobs, their wages, their titles, and nobody knows nothing.
Okay, so here's the thing. I can come to you guys with a proposal. And if I already tell these guys this is happening, and then you guys go, we're not doing that. Now I've just told these guys that they're getting promoted, they're getting a raise, and now they're not. So I wait until there is confirmation that yes, the board has approved this before I go tell them you're getting it, because.
And the thought that shouldn't be, that discussion, that all that putting together shouldn't happen at this level. It should happen at the staff level and then brought here kind of as a finished product. And then I guess I would have the feeling if I was here on these committees that I'm only here to rubber stamp. That's it. I don't do any of the work. I never talk about this stuff. And that just wouldn't sit with me too good, So
what are you, which are you saying?
well, I mean, we got some really good professionals here. And I don't want to spend 9 hours on some of this stuff, but I just have a feeling that we're not utilizing them, The other one comes here.
Go somewhere else too.
Yep. So that's just my.
Actually, Steve,
Huh?
Mark.
No, I'm sitting right here.
Okay.
You sure?
I am definitely here.
Mondays.
All warmed up for you.
I would definitely.
So I guess that's a question. What level of information does the committee want us to provide? Because at times, I feel like you need something so you can react off of it. And if, as Keith mentioned, if it's not approved or if it's asked for more information or to be discussed further, that's fine. We want to try to get you as much information as you can so you can look at it versus.
That might work with some of the committees and some of the commissions.
Yep.
But we have people on this committee that deal with hundreds of people, hundreds. And we're talking to 33 here. 33. I don't believe, we don't need to spend 3, 4, 5 hour sessions on this stuff. But some of this, it's, none of this originates from this committee. It all originates from staff.
Yeah,
And it just seems very eclectic this last couple months with this. I mean, then there was some information that came out that was actually 22 or 21 information. We're trying to make a decision on this. And I'm just thinking, okay, how much does this committee know about this? And I'm kind of thinking none. In my mind, so.
sure. And even, again, at that same meeting, I remember you guys said we're gonna review this at the next month. And I said, does anybody have any questions about the public works staff? And, you know, I guess that's where I was looking at, you know, do we have questions? Do you need more information from me? Because I think we're providing you with what you need, but if it's not.
But not even knowing what to ask. You're throwing a question out there.
Yeah, and I guess.
That some people aren't even prepared to know how to even ask what we're gonna deal with, you know, so the board just, and I don't know if you know this, the board just approved one of the two counseling, say the people that are gonna do the consultants.
Okay.
For what, 7 or 8 directors? I think one of them was 13.
10 positions,
How many?
10 positions.
Now 10. But
Oh, was it 10?
no, you just added 2 tonight. You're adding 2 more for $400, I thought, or 3.
Wasn't having one.
Okay, whatever. So, one was 13 grand and one was 10 or 9, I thought, or 8 even. The one, say that the first one, that was 13 grand, Midstate or?
Carlson.
Carlson Detman. It was what, 3 or 4 grand more.
13,000.
I did not vote for that, and the rest of the board voted for the other one. And that's fine. But I think this committee brought up those 2 names, correct? Both? Okay, and
Well, Carlson Detman and.
yeah, the other one is in this packet tonight. It's,
Public Administration Associate.
the one with Dwayne Gowan. Yep. And I just wasn't in favor of that one, so. And so we're gonna, 10 or 13 grand, whatever, for how many people? 10? And then we also talked about, shouldn't this group look at our entire structure? I mean, here we're diving around ourselves, which none of us are ready for this. I could sit in and I could handle it, but not like this committee could. And so here we are going at this for the directors. And I feel, I'm just gonna say it because I've been thinking about this for several weeks, even a month. I kind of feel like this is maybe a last year rah that, we got a building and now we're gonna, get the directors some money. We just went off of a 5% across the board raises. And we had some issues with the CDLs, the CDLs were too low, but now their terms now have changed from maintainer to operators.
So again, that was always, it's on the agenda. And I guess, again, that's probably my bad for not discussing that with the committee, but how.
See, the thing is though, we're putting the cart ahead of the horse. Shouldn't this stuff be brought up here to then be brought up the next month for discussion here here?
Yeah.
So that there's some preparation. It's always, I feel like the committee, especially this one, is reacting all the time because that's what it's set up for. I think staff sets this committee up to react, not to act.
So the job descriptions we have are what the job descriptions have been for years. And I guess we haven't, the way that people have been compensated has been based on what the pay grades are here. At times, some of our paperwork in the background didn't properly reflect the pay grade that somebody was in. And I think that's what happened last week at a meeting, or 2 weeks ago when I wasn't here, is there an old set of job titles were on people, even though they don't have that job title anymore. So yes, we did have 3 people, I believe, that moved from maintainer to operator, but they've also achieved their CDL over the past year. So that was the reason for that change. So.
But we've had maintainers here with CDLs. And now we've just corrected it. What I'm saying though is the meat that you're talking about isn't happening here at this level.
But
you're just haphazardly kind of going around and touching and this, and somebody made a comment, so let's go and address this. My first hour and a half almost every day is a fire person. I feel like I'm just putting out fires. That's just the way it is. But the rest of the day, I control. I control where my time is going. I control what's happening, and that's how it is. And I feel like we're not in that control. I feel like we're extremely unorganized. And we're not utilizing, especially this committee right here. This committee, we're two people short right now and we're gonna get two more on here. And there's a reason why we went from 5 to 7. Because we need to have the majority on the outside of the trustees, especially for here. Because if we get the people of this status or this level right now, we get two more. Now we won't, it doesn't have to worry about who put who in for as a trustee. Because this committee can run on its own professional merit. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanna go.
I'm not with you guys tonight. I'm a visitor, but I just happen to be sitting in a comfortable
But I
chair.
just like, I just wanna make sure I understand what you're saying, and then I was kind of thinking about
Yeah.
it in terms of, I work with two different boards in my capacity. And how we operate and how I think could maybe be more beneficial for our time and how we operate is, if you wanna bring a topic forward, first it comes to discussion at one of the meetings, get advisement, we talk about it, say what kind of details we need, and then at the next meeting, bring us something to act upon. I feel like we get stuff to act upon, then we have the discussion afterwards. That's really not a best practice when it comes to operating a board. You wanna bring the discussion points first, get the details that you wanna have that conversation, then present the information. Anybody else, is that?
I would agree. I feel like some of our discussions get a little bit more circular and again, probably take up more time than necessary, so.
In this committee's world and every day, other than here, they're in complete control, complete. It's their way, except here. And I made some calls the last couple of months to several, and I just asked a simple question: do you feel like you have a voice? Do you feel like you're prepared? And it's not what we should be doing. We're not. We think we can do this. And I mean, just look back a couple of years on who's been on some of these committees, on some other departments too. And we've got some good people on planning right now. We got some good people here, a couple on public works. But if we don't utilize them and they have some say in this, because that's what they're here for, you know, their advisement, we're gonna be making a big mistake. We're moving fast. This is a great community. We got a lot of stuff happening. And I'm gonna do this one more time, and it sounds like I'm minimizing it, but it's 33 people. That's what we're talking about. In our company, we're over 900.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that, and
No, actually, you don't.
No,
You don't. Don't say you do, because 33 is a whole other world. And in my world, that seems pretty simple to me.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be this disorganized about the way our agendas are, the way we're piecemealing things together, and then we're gonna bring in a $10,000 plus group to analyze 8 to 10 people.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, we started this discussion in October with the committee as far as what are we looking at, what's our comparables, what do we need? So I feel like we have had a lot of time to discuss this. And
Michael,
Yep.
I'm gonna keep stopping.
that's fine.
I have been at these meetings since October.
Yep.
And several comments have been made. We've asked time and time again for information and we're not getting it. We're not getting the meat. We're not getting all the work. And we're not seeing all that. We're just getting recommendations.
And then when we get the information, it's not correct. And that's
And
creating.
it's not correct because of this committee. It's just the way it was put together. And then now when we sit here and it's doubled up on the board that we're gonna make a decision here. That's why the only thing I could do, and I went first, is I said, the only one I wanna correct is CDL, period. That's it. You told me you had some pain points that you couldn't hire some CDLs. I think we did $2 or $3 more an hour for a few. But then the rest of the group wasn't touched. And, you know, and the reason why we did that, and I heard it time and time and time again, is for retention. Retention. All right, we've got a 28-year employee, a 22 and an 18. And there's no retention issues there?
No, that,
Dan sat here one night when you were on vacation and told us about the intellectual property, that when these people leave, we'll never get it all, never.
Yeah.
And yet we're not concerned about that. Now tonight, we're doing some of those.
and that's what I'm trying to say is, I did touch on that at a previous meeting, saying we're gonna be coming back with the crew leader position for those senior people.
But coming back finished.
What?
Finished. It's finished. It's right here.
Yeah, but if somebody doesn't approve it, they want me to come back, that's fine.
I know.
Like,
I think now this committee knows that they have a voice and they can ask questions and they can stall and they can stop things and they can move it to the next month. But even as a board member, it takes us a long time to get there, a long time. You know, our confidence level isn't there, you know, even tonight Jasper, I mean, he can build houses and yet he's, you know, joking about a gavel. You know, I mean, there's a lot of times that a lot of us, you know, do I sit here, do I this, can I do this motion? I mean, Steve, you and I have talked, you know, for the last year and a half, 2 years on what's the right thing to do sometimes, you know, what we can do and we look at the different rules. But we throw these committees and commissions together, let them go. And I don't actually believe that a lot of the training should come from staff. I mean, it should come from, you know, past committee people or maybe some other people in the area that can come in and help us with it too. So, but, you know, I know you're saying that we talked about this in the past, but together, this is all buttoned up. It's wrapped up, taped up, got a signature on it, then it usually says approved by staff, yes. And then this is kind of the wording you would do if you'd approve it.
that is, but if you guys don't, you know, you have.
I know, but if you don't know, Michael,
Sure.
you don't know enough to do this.
Yep.
The first time I was in a board meeting over there, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I was shaking like a leaf. And I don't do that in front of people. I just talk until someone tells me to shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
And, yeah, I know, I will shut up. All right, I'm done.
I'm kidding.
I know, but it's enough. So, anyways. Sometimes I think we don't move fast enough, and sometimes I think we move too fast. So, this is one that I think we're gonna be correcting this if we keep doing this every couple weeks or every month. And we take a little podge, and yet we're gonna have this council come and look at everything, so. That's just my thoughts. I'm not voting tonight, so. I'll hand-
My
I'll hand it off to
frustration
somebody
with
else.
the change of positions and the grades is the grades weren't what we were going with on the pay scale. We were going with the job title.
But the grades and the job title are, so grade G is the operator position, right?
And Michael, I think it's just, it cross pollinates between the two of them. So K is a maintainer, but he's got a CDL, but he doesn't have a CDL. The operator's got a CDL, and it gets really confusing really quick. And I am fucking tired of this whole thing. We've been at this for 6 months.
No,
I know, and we sat here one night for 3 hours, and we thought we had this thing ironed out, and we're still fucking talking about it. I'm sorry, I keep swearing. They don't have time, I don't have time. And it's not you, okay? We want to make sure our people are taken care of. But we can't keep talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And however, this is going across the written. They've got to feel just as frustrated as I do.
I'm frustrated too, man.
I thought we had it done. You know, we sat here for 3 hours. I thought that was clear as could possibly be. And we're just gonna have the directors' levels evaluated based on the professionals that we have on this board. So that we can have outside people do that. And then that was the clear next step. And here it is, and we're going right back to it. So I don't,
It's hard enough for professionals in this field to not do things personally or take things personally or not to have a closer relationship with others than others. But in this field, we have, you know, a certain amount of staff working with 33 people, not public safety, not those two other deals, but 33. You know, a lot of you could be too close. You know, somebody asks too many questions, somebody wants to know answers, somebody wants to know what the minutes meant last week. And right away, we handle that a little differently, or we have a weird feeling that, oh, that person ain't on board. I don't know, does it affect? So we have a third party come in here, like everybody's been screaming about, getting one in here. And then this committee can take a look at it.
and Keith, you asking to, for the finance department position, handling payroll as part of, that's the position you're asking to add to this, for their evaluation.
That's one of the new business items later on.
Okay. Oh, I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. All right, do we need to move to closed session to go over this?
Well, can I just ask how the agenda is working right now? So we went unfinished, right?
Um,
And then we have new business. And where is new business? On the back.
It's after the closed session.
So new business is actually
Right before
5, 6, 7, and 8? What?
New business is right before closed session.
In the event there was some action taken in closed session. Or,
And that's how I understood that.
but it was not taken.
If we had to discuss those positions, then we could discuss them at that point, because it might have to do with wage, is that correct?
Wanted to,
So new business should actually be after all this and put on the second page. Because right now I'm a little confused. So you're saying new business is actually here, but it's really not here. We go to closed session
Well-
first?
okay, the closed session is under new business in this case.
So is the closed session about item number 5 or is that its own?
It's it can be related to number 5. If you don't wish to go to closed session, you don't need to go to closed session. But if you want to defer the closed session till later, you can do that too.
I've been on here 3 different times, approximately 15 to 18 years. I didn't know that.
We defer other items.
I know, but I've never seen this in this order yet, ever. And I don't understand this. That's why I'm asking questions. And I've been here a long time.
So the closed session is regarding the public works? Is that what you're saying?
Correct, yeah. It's the recommendation for the employees to be moved or promoted to the crew leader positions.
And that goes in line with our employee handbook and our standard practices?
That should be in closed session.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. All right, I'd like to motion to move to closed session per 19.85, parent 1, parent C. Consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, to wit, possible promotion of employees to new position of crew leader and recommendation for related compensation increase.
Motion to approve.
Give a second.
Second?
Or is this roll call?
Yep, I was just writing down. The first was Wyland. Wyland.
Here.
Hardinger.
Here.
Hackbarth.
Here.
Dirk Slooby. Here. Haig.
Here.
No, we're actually in closed session, so
So we need to-
who's staying and who's not staying?
Everybody but Randy can come stay.
But this involves Randy?
Okay.
And then, I guess, what do you want the application to look like? Do you want resumes? Do you want,
Resumes are fine.
Yeah, do you have an internal?
Do you have an internal
Process?
application?
We
You don't.
we currently post through our Civics, which is our HR software.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that can get
So
posted just
you
internally?
can apply online.
That's, I
Okay.
just follow
So
your.
Maybe they just
process.
upload a resume? Or
Yep,
is
you can
there,
attach a resume to your application.
Great.
okay.
Good. Okay. Is that everything for number 5?
Well, the only thing I guess with respect to viewing of employees' reviews under provisions in our handbook, I think also under provisions in.
No, it'll have to be a closed session.
Well,
Is that what you're asking?
the employee has to agree to release their reviews.
Who can see him now?
Um,
Who sees him now?
Administrator and directors that do the internal review.
Okay, so we would need something in writing that the employee made
Have it.
made aware that the board will review that application.
Not the committee,
The committee.
not the board.
Committee.
Yeah,
Correct.
just the committee.
So just that they've been notified of that and that it will be part of the evaluation process.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Nikki, is that correct on your other committee? Can you guys do reviews?
Well,
I would think that
I don't know
the-
that I would do that. I mean, I think I would provide information that was redacted, but I don't think okay, so I'm looking with my other board. I would not provide them probably internal reviews unless I redacted the information, unless the employee said that is okay. that they gave permission because it's
Yeah.
being evaluated for a job and it's gonna show their performance, why we're not doing it to kind of, you know, it depends on, I mean, I know I also work under like, probably, we have FERPA, you have HIPAA, so there are some rules around that, so we, you know, depending on who they are and what we're doing, I mean, that's usually student information.
I guess that was why I asked the question of if you actually wanted the review itself, or if you want a summary of the review, you know, high points, this is why the recommendation is being made.
I think summary would be fine.
A recommendation
Summary.
probably, I guess.
With the sign off, I mean, we've done that, especially in key roles. When we have, you know, more of a circle of people that are making the decision.
Mhm.
And not that we want to check on the supervisor doing the review, but we
Right.
truly want to see there. And I've never seen anything negative yet.
Yeah.
Because it's different class, I guess.
So we're just going with the recommendation?
Yeah, and I would definitely, like, if I was doing this, I would give evidence. This is why. This is the evidence. This is, and like, I go back to the documented evidence, any documentation evidence.
And it goes back to exactly what you both were just saying. So we just,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the committee was aware. Thank you.
thank you, Keith.
You know, something to be turned back in,
Sure.
not kept, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next on the, sorry, is there anything else in the 5? That was number 5. pretty
So
much.
I guess, I kept holding this little thing up, but,
You go back and
you know, this was I guess the progression of the positions.
Yeah, no, it's-
I just want that, you know, make sure you guys had that, knew what it was and understood. I guess that's how, you know, I think Linda, you refer to it as that ladder, right? It's how does somebody move from one step to the other, and it's learning those duties and becoming proficient in them.
So 2 years ago, what was Tony's classification?
Tony was the foreman.
And the foreman is still in place?
The foreman is on the pay scale, but nobody's in that role.
So foreman is on here, on the
Correct.
sheets? Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is discussion of clerk and finance payroll assistant position to be included in the compensation review.
You don't have to make a recommendation on item 5. I'm just looking at the paperwork here.
That's the job descriptions, right?
It's a job description.
And the classifications that were.
So I guess your action on closed session was to approve the position of crew leader.
Okay, so we accomplished
Yeah.
adoption or creation of the position of crew leader. So the second item just had to do with, you know, I guess endorsing, acknowledging, approving, whatever you want to do with the job descriptions for the other positions in public works and clerks.
Say that again?
Now,
What?
we're not diving into that right now.
Okay, so I'm just saying, that's what the next item is related to. Second thing would be, acknowledging, I guess, what titles had been attached with people.
Is that the
Because
titles
it's got all
that
mucked up.
is that the titles that got approved by the board 10 days ago? When they got changed on the pay scale? I'm just asking.
One's on the left. It's on page 12 of the packet.
Of tonight's packet,
Yeah.
page 12. Do I count 12 pages or does it actually say 12?
Pages according to mine.
PDF there. a little.
Typed in 12.
It's 12 on the PDF or on the, it's up on the screen.
Okay. And is
Ones on the
it,
left are the ones that were by the board.
And the only change you're looking to make is the arborist?
No. It's just to clarify where we
Why?
tend to have people.
I just want to make sure we're all looking at, this is the document we're reviewing? And what are the proposed changes that we're supposed to review? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Based on our pay plan and where we intended people to be, based on those job descriptions. This would be the titles of the names on the left there.
So just
So
to
all of
refresh
those-
my memory, were these left over that we needed to review, or were they part of the pay plan discussion last time where we made decisions to increase their compensation?
There have been some mistakes made over time in terms of what was provided in documents from one year to the next. And, I think Michael alluded to it as well. There's been some inconsistency. I talked to Mark about this. I guess we've been a little bit lax on getting the proper title through and brought it to the board.
So when we went over all that information, the titles for the people that we're looking at were right? Is that what you're saying?
They were inconsistent from one time to the next too, because of what, picking different information from a different spreadsheet at times.
And now you're asking us to approve this based on what?
This is where we had people on the recommendation, in the recommendations for their pay increases.
But now we're moving people to new pay grades in this.
No, they're in pay,
Yes, because the public works maintenance is in a lower pay grade than the operator.
You're moving three Gs to a 3 Hs.
Yeah.
their title changes.
So all those wages that we discussed are not necessarily.
The recommended
wages match the column on the right. So there's no wage change. The wages that were approved by the board are consistent with the job titles on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, but now wait a minute though, we did two change, yes, we did. We did change wages,
You did.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I know, you just said we did.
No, I said you did.
Oh, okay, because
But-
we went from
but-
G to H.
Yeah, what I meant is right now, there's
Yeah.
no proposed wage changes. It's just to clean up or clarify what the titles of those people should be.
Yep, so we have a 3-year of service, Park Public Works maintainer that was already in a H, and he's still in a H, but his title is changing to operator. And then we have 3 below it that are in Gs, all go into Hs. One, a 1-year service, one another service, but then one of them a 4-year service by 1 year and 2 months over the other one that was already in H. And this one was in the G.
The wage doesn't change, but the range changes,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Correct.
Right.
But the wages did change for these.
The wages already changed.
Changes
Right.
pre-
Not already, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
That's right.
But do their new wages fall in line,
Yes.
in sync with their years of service?
No,
And the whole purpose of this, which was to bring everybody's wage to market rate, correct?
Right.
It does fall in line with their years of service,
Underneath the new age?
under what was approved by recommended by this committee and approved by the board.
why aren't the wages on here?
But were these recommended grade changes back then?
I'm not remembering.
That wasn't on the matrix that we had. The grade changes were not on the
These,
matrix.
these,
List the
Which is
grades.
I don't
Position.
remember the position title.
I don't
changes
either.
well, it surprised the board also. And it was referred to that Michael had this in the going, but he was on vacation. That's where my comment came from
This is
earlier.
my fault. Okay, just so it.
You can just fall on the sword if you want. Can I just explain this?
Sure.
So we go into this night and I did not know about this, the operator or the maintainer. I don't think anybody in the board did. And I had asked questions with these changes because it's changed. Have we talked to the employees yet? And then everyone said, we're not sure if we did. And I had some real heartburn over this. And we're fine with the 3-year maintainer going to operator, being an H, and the one with a year and 2 months. I mean, that's quite a discrepancy, a year and 2 months. That one was in a G and then now he's going to an H, but the other one was an H to an H. Oh,
Yeah, this doesn't even have the scale on it.
I wonder if we should just defer this to.
No, yeah, because this doesn't have your Gs or H or whatever else on here. And
I
then
mean,
the other point, we have years of service. There's people that come here and we're tracking years of service that they have with us, but they came here from somewhere else where they had 18 years of service doing that job. So that doesn't, that years of service doesn't, I mean, it's great that these people have been here this long, but that, it's misleading is what it is.
I think we talked about that last time.
I think we did talk
bring it
about
back.
that.
We did.
Yeah, yep.
But what I don't recall talking about are title changes at our
Yeah,
last
no.
meeting that
Yeah,
fell
no, I
into
don't
another
remember that at
pay
all.
grade.
I don't recall talking about title changes either.
We talked about a lot.
We
just
mostly
remember
talked
that.
about.
We were trying to sort through to make sure people were getting a good market adjustment
Right,
Compared to where they were.
compared to where they were,
So
based off
titles-
the best information that we have. And now we're
No,
We're
the
shifting titles and classifications around to better.
the titles would be
Just so this committee
consistent
knows
with the
title.
pay grade that they,
I know, but that's the,
Mark, where the title changes were approved at the board level, correct?
I don't know.
no, they weren't.
Last
I
week,
don't believe so.
or 2 week and a half
They
ago?
weren't.
No, they weren't.
I thought they were
I-
different from Monday night's
No,
scale.
I don't think they were because I asked the question, did these go through this committee? And I don't think it did. Yeah, and well, at first, some people said it did, but then I think we came to the conclusion that it didn't. And I just felt, if we're gonna have a committee, an HR committee, I think it's gotta go through the HR committee.
I'll call attention to it as a discussion item.
Okay, so what are you asking from us today then?
We're not changing, sorry, go ahead. We're not changing we're just adjusting their titles.
Right.
There's no change in their wages, but in adjusting their titles and their rates, isn't the wage range being adjusted as well? Because they're
Yeah.
pumping up.
Correct, yeah, so they go from maybe the midpoint of one grade to about the minimum of the next.
Right. So then,
And the zero experience, or the person that doesn't have a full year in, hired as an operator, was hired with more experience than one with,
He had previous experience, yes.
more so than the 4-year employee that we currently have.
No, I guess that's why we recommended that those guys that move as well.
yeah, the 4 years got at a higher rate than the new hire, it looks like right now.
They're all now at the same pay.
Well,
Well,
we better have some issues here because we've got a 3-year employee that makes 50 cents more than a 4-year employee. And they both have the same,
job.
they were maintainers and now they're operators. But the 3-year employee now makes $24.97 and the 4-year employee makes $24.44.
So why is
We
that?
better have justification on that.
Yeah, is that previous experience that they came with, or was that
There was
performance?
previous experience as well.
So the 3-year had previous to $1.10 over the 4-year. And that's in their files.
Yeah, and it's not like it's because of where they were hired at too, in the organization, you know.
No. No, they have to have more experience. They have to have more job duties, not just where they were hired in the organization.
Yep, no, sorry, I said that wrong.
You know, I don't pretend to be who these people are, and we shouldn't be either on staff. I'm not kidding. This is some serious stuff. Corona Water just paid out $1 million. $1 million. Yep.
That's gonna get worse.
Yeah. they're not-
And we've been, you know, I'm just telling you, I know we think we can do a lot of stuff, but boy, I'll tell you, I know my limits. Holy crap.
All right, so. Anybody have anything to discuss on the committee? Well, I understand we're just changing the job titles, but it is putting them in a different pay bracket.
It is, it's putting them in a
That's what
salary
we
band.
had.
Well, I mean, for 2 of these people, they're getting a 15.29% raise on top of a 5% raise 2 months ago. Or 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15%.
But then on top of that, 5 more.
Which put them to the minimum of that pay grade.
Yeah, but only because we moved the pay grade. That's what I'm saying, when you can shuffle the goals and you can shuffle the Js and the Ks and the Ls, in my world, the ceiling is when somebody else wants to try to hire our talent. That's our ceiling. And when they don't want to hire our talent, I guess we're pretty good, but that's how we measure an awful lot of employees is, you know, we just keep a nice info on what our competition and what the industry is doing. But since we moved the goalposts, well, then obviously now we're at the minimum. Well, before, you know, where were we?
Well, had we left them where they were, we made the recommendation, but put at the same rate because that's what the CDL rate is being
Is that the
advertised by
only
the county.
reason we're changing the title? Are they actually meeting the
So-
expectations
so
of
the-
the new role?
Yeah, the title is, again, going back to that sheet where
The latter.
they are now, they are performing the operator
Okay, okay,
duties.
okay.
You know, they've gone through the maintainer, now they're working on their operator.
All right.
You know, when you have this structure in place, I would actually say that it would, I can't imagine it not tending for me to think that I have some protection, some security. That if I do this, I get to go to that rate, and that's not always gonna be the case.
Correct.
That is not gonna be a protected, pay scale.
No.
Yet I feel sometimes here that everyone thinks, well, since it's been approved, that's our pay scale, I'm gonna be in the middle of there. Everything is great.
No, and I think we understand that's probably been one of the struggles of having the pay scale is some years you are able to move people and other years due to budgets or we can't. And I guess that quite frankly,
But what is the can't here? I understand can't in private business,
Yep.
when our margin isn't where it is, when our sales isn't where it is, when we're not hitting our goals.
Yep.
You know, where are those set points in government?
there's been,
What, just name one.
I don't know, but there's been previous
Name
years
one.
where we've brought recommendations or, you know, or we've been told by the board here.
That's a board, that's a board, that's a board that does this all the time.
Correct.
You know, so, I mean, you're not hinged on a profit level, you're not hinged on an enrollment, you're not hinged on widgets or margins or sales, nothing. And, you know, I can't do anything for what I do every single day if we're not making a profit, period. And, that's a tough one to get your hands around. So I have a little heartburn when I hear that some years we can't do a raise. Technically, you can move money around all over. We all know it. We talk about it. We laugh about it. That we can move these numbers around. We can change budgets. We can do this and do that. And we can buy a new piece of equipment if we want. We can move the money around. It happens all the time.
Yep, all I'm saying is past years, we've had boards that have said, nope, there's no.
That's the board. Yep.
And it's the board, correct, but that's the hard part is trying to keep something consistent as the board changes, because you'll have board members with different philosophies. And
Okay.
Sir, did you have something on?
I'm gonna zip it, cause
You don't,
I'll say something.
I'd like to hear it, because this is frustrating for us. It's gotta be frustrating for
You
you.
have a stake. You have a stake here. What are you,
Yeah,
28 years
absolutely
here?
do.
30,
You know, we're an ESOP company and every single person from day one to 35 years is an owner. And you have how many years here?
32.
You are absolutely an owner.
No,
You can say,
yeah.
you can say, you know, respectively, whatever you want. You should have absolutely no thought that there would be any ramifications on your
I'm
thoughts.
kind of feeling sorry for Michael that I opened up this can of worms, but I think it needed to be brought to the board's attention because stuff was getting passed. I had the feeling it was just rubber stamped, like, you didn't know the job titles changed, right?
Right.
And that kind of bugged me.
Yeah, and
Well,
we've been going at this since October.
Well, I don't think you guys should have to spend, that's a lot of time you're spending on this, you know?
I choose to do it. That's what I choose to do. My wife doesn't agree, but I do.
I think the frustration comes when we come circling back and circling back and circling back on the same damn thing over and over and over again. After we thought we had it corrected and taken care of.
Yeah,
I thought.
I didn't open up the can.
I thought you were.
No, this is all that needs to be done,
Right.
you know, and
If we're trying to protect and retain, you know, these 1, 2, 3, and 4 years, I think the same effort should be for the 20 and the 30 years too. And so my heartburn was to have these lower levels being advanced because you have to keep them. And yet at the time, there was no consideration for some of the.
Like you were talking about the 3 and 4, I think this wage is good there. There's like the one at 3 come at a little more experience. I don't work with the one with 4 much.
But, you know, I mean, and I think I asked Michael about the CDL usage here is what, 70 to 75%?
yeah, I mean,
Our CDLs are 100%. That's all they do is CDL and so the wages are way different. And they also work third shift, always on nights, you know, every other weekend.
I can't, it's more than 70 because you need somebody, you need them. It's not.
yeah, so I mean, True.
Yeah, but our CDLs though, Randy, are only behind the wheel, period.
Right.
And you don't have restrictions with hours. I mean, when you're shoveling and when you're doing this, it's different. So, you know, you might think that you're doing CDL more, but I'll bet you it is pretty accurate with that.
That's kind of.
Well, the number might be a little bit lower because I have a CDL and Dan has a CDL. So.
I wasn't thinking of you guys when I talked to.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying if you're just saying.
So all of our CDLs here are submitted to the randoms, right?
Yep.
So you get random drug tests all the time. THC is still tested, right? Because it's
Drug and alcohol.
You're doing federals, okay, all right. We've dropped our THC with everybody but CDL, and our application went up 50%. Pretty damn sad. Well, it's because we went out to Colorado, we had to do something.
So what did you come up with for crew lead? Because me and Forrest been doing it for.
We have,
Tony left.
we have, this committee has approved that
The position.
The
So
position.
those three positions that were recommended to us, we're recommending them to the board.
Yep. And then some other stuff has to come back
Yeah.
to this committee, and then we'll go back to the board again. When you walked in, you were hearing about applications and applying online to civics and stuff. And there's just gonna be a few more procedures to keep everything consistent.
So if I want that job, I gotta apply like.
There'll be an official
Job.
posting and.
Yeah, and a posting, yep. Yep. It's not a lot of have to. You'll do just fine. I'll help you if you want. Hey, I did fill out a $50 building permit. I was gonna put the building up behind the house and not get a permit. And I did. I said, screw it. I'm gonna ask for forgiveness. And so I came down here and made, I think Roman or Scott, I gave him the money. I says, put it in. I don't wanna learn this. I'm gonna have one shed. That's it. So anyway, yeah.
All right, so what are we doing with these positions? Because we are moving pay scales. And I guess that's my only,
This is where that ladder system
yeah.
would come into play, like once they finish all in that one column, they meet that objective, then it should progress to the next, like documented, this is our process.
Yeah.
Versus missing maybe some of them throughout the year when they're at that, or maybe they're halfway into the next and that's when you do it. Like I don't think there's a consistent,
Yeah.
like if they have 3 out of 10, that's when they get moved, or, you know, have some criteria set so that you're applying it consistently. If there's 15 criteria, once they're doing 7 of them, move. You know, then that's a ladder system approach where just kind of automatically then happens, but then be consistent with, is there an increase to go with it? And if there is, then you're applying that increase consistently, whether it's cents or a percentage. And depending on where people are at, obviously your higher wage earner, people with longevity, will get a higher increase if you do a percentage base versus a flat dollar amount, whichever, I think you just should be consistent,
Just have to define what that
what it
looks like.
is.
Just define
And then it's an easy progression through that ladder program.
Just been trying to find that balance between 3 departments
Yeah,
that all have an operator. You know, so like a parks operator might be different than a
Yeah.
public works
we
operator.
have to break it out for each department then.
Yeah, because like I said, there's different thoughts on it.
Yeah.
you know?
They should be very separate ladders, because it's not the same type of position. When you
Yeah, I
have
know.
someone who's an arborist degree, you know, on a
Yeah.
landscaping business, that's a valuable degree. That's a whole different thing than someone who's, so that one, you need to have laddering systems for someone who can go, hey, if I start here and I wanna get here, what is it gonna take? How do I get there? How do I make this progression?
It's just 2 different ladders.
You're gonna have to
Get
create
the
your own
same
ladder.
spot.
And I'm sure it makes sense to you guys, because what you've been cultured, but to me, it makes no sense whatsoever.
And it probably wouldn't be the same pay scale. You're not, they shouldn't be the same, I mean, they might have different pay scales based on different talents and abilities. That's why I always say, go back to the consultants and have them get you set up for success. That's all I'm saying. Be set up for success.
That arborist and that forester, like Mickey's talking about, I'll bet you couldn't find another matching job.
No,
You would absolutely never find that, because that arborist and forester that's out there is not doing that physical work out there. They're not leading a crew. I mean, I've seen her attack that Schofield Avenue median. My God, it's unbelievable. I mean, that crew is working that hard because she works that hard. So, anyway,
That's very neat.
So why would we change her title if we're considering
Public Works.
changing that position? Or are we,
Well, just relative to what her normal duties are.
No, I mean, we changed the
She
title.
acknowledges that she's doing more work in that
but in a month,
public works area and park maintenance than she is doing arborist.
right, but in a month, she'd be a crew lead if she gets that position, right?
Yeah, right now she has her own plow route
So I guess that's my next question is.
and a triaxle truck.
Yeah, if we're approving this
not
position.
not just when somebody isn't driving, she.
No, she has her own
She
route.
is on the crew.
We also have another parks person that also has their own route too,
Okay,
for plowing. So that's where the cross department stuff comes in.
yeah,
And that's why we kind of have this.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That flexibility
But
is
that's
huge.
just written into that job description, because no matter if you have to replace her, that person, the next person coming will still have to do that responsibility, right?
Mhm.
and I guess.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah,
So
But if
if
they don't, then
then they don't get it.
they don't get it, yeah.
there's a crew lead position, then is your arborist going to be open?
No, she'll do the same. She'll be doing that and that.
So, well, yeah, but it's not the same position.
Yeah, but she's also on the side of parks.
Yep.
She's not on the street side. She's on the park side. She just happens to work on the street side.
Yeah.
Just like John is on the street side, but he happens to be on the arborist and forester side because his background was with land art.
So
It's
John
huge.
actually, yeah, but I mean,
But she's not in that position.
no.
If we put her in a new position, then that's an open position.
I don't know
It
if
doesn't
that's.
have to be. No, I don't believe that has to be. I mean, so the same thing with Mr. Villistra here. We put him in that new position, then the other one isn't open.
Yeah.
We're not creating three jobs.
She's absorbing that position.
Yeah.
Promotion.
Yeah, it's a promotion,
Lose Jess.
but we're not gonna lose anybody. But
We don't wanna lose Jess.
No,
No, we don't.
No.
I need to meet this lady.
Yeah, me too, right?
I'm not saying this because she bought me a few drinks at Kelly, so. I bought her drinks, so, no, that's actually a long time ago. I'm just teasing.
Where's the public works senior operator? That's an I?
That's an eye.
Yes.
I don't,
What question are we on right now?
we're still on 5.
No, I thought we were on 6.
Oh, we haven't even moved to
We're on
second.
5?
We're still on 5. And we got about 12 minutes before I lose my mind.
It starts at 9 o'clock again.
No,
Where
please.
are we?
Okay, so what do you need from us to rank 5?
So this has already been done.
Here we are.
Now we're just making
Or was it
adjustments.
tabled?
Respect to the pay grades there, without changing the title, I guess.
Say that again?
But did the board approve the titling last week?
No.
Is that what I missed?
No,
I sent it back.
we wanted to bring it back to this.
Oh, I see,
No.
okay.
And, yep,
So, and my problem with that is that should have been something that was brought when we came to this full thing. Because now we're discussing a change in the ladder of their minimum and their maximum, which is what my issue is. I'm glad they're getting paid. They got the market adjustment to do that. But that's the only problem I have with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest, you can table this, we can bring it back next month and have the same description for every person showing how they fit, where they fit, and why it's there.
That's
If we
great.
can take a holistic approach, I think that'll, again, help us just make better decisions.
Yeah, I can't,
Yeah.
And I'm a visual person, when I'm
I am
looking at
too.
the pay grade changes, it would
Yeah.
be nice to see what their old was and what their new is with their old wage and their new wage. I mean, you have it here, it's kind of piecemealed in different documents, because then we can see how far off is someone moving from
Yes.
their current pay grade into the new? Are they really compressed to the minimum, so it's gonna make recruiting challenging, or, are there any discrepancies in
And
that?
with that, if we can also have the salary band
Yeah, the pay grades.
on the pay grade on the same document as well, so we don't have to keep flipping back and forth, that would be helpful.
okay, so we're gonna, Sarah, the
Yes.
table would be in the same meeting. We'd have to, sorry, defer, right, for the next meeting. Sorry.
I wrote that I was gonna table that confirmation of job classifications, right?
I'm gonna save you all an hour.
Defer.
I'm gonna get out of here. So, yep, thank you. Nice seeing y'all.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep, thank you.
Do we need to vote on that, or can we just,
Well, that's your last week.
Sarah?
And the area, I was in the, yeah, I was thinking of it all the time, yeah.
Just if you don't take action on it, we'll just
You
bring
just
it.
push it, right? Okay, great. Next on the list is discussion of clerk and finance payroll system position being included in compensation review. If you all remember right, we put all the department heads, the directors. All the directors, we, Keith put out an RFP. We got two replies from that RFP. We went as a board with the lower of the two RFPs, and that is for the director positions because we felt we didn't have enough information to line up all the operators, maintainers with all the other studies and everything that we had as a collective information. So we're going outsource to make sure our department, or sorry, our director heads, not only have, well, we can do a market evaluation of their salary, but not only not only that, but the positions that they have here within the village.
Can I make a comment? Given how the last 2 months have gone, do we just want to send every position that we have?
No. We have, that's gonna cost 30 or 40 grand. And I'm not gonna recommend.
30 or 40,000 or $1 million lawsuit?
Well,
I mean, I'm
Well,
just-
No, I think we're okay with the data.
We
that
did, we took
have.
quite a bit of time into that. I felt like you were there.
I was here, I'm just,
So it's just the director.
I think we have the
see why,
good data.
it's all, that's the only reason I'm asking.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
we
not
have good
lined
data
up.
for the other positions, I think. It was just the director was, are we really, because there wasn't any really good job descriptions for the titles. So I
The
think-
titles
I
and the
think
size
you're-
of this
you're safe
organization as well.
That's fine, I just.
For that level, yeah.
Just a
So
suggestion.
Keith, you're asking to add finance department? To handle payroll, benefits, accounts payable? What are we talking about? Is this, it's not the director of finance. It's.
No, but it's a position that's got duties that's really never been defined in the old pay plan.
Because of.
After Sherry left,
Yeah, the utility clerk thing now, we're breaking apart who's handling the finances, so.
well,
just-
utility clerk was not handling that.
Well, not
Sherry was handling a
finances.
lot of that, but.
Yeah.
Renee Modell has kind of adapted into that. This happens whenever people leave, we have to have somebody kind of come in and fill the void, so.
And you can't find a job description that does that anywhere else?
All three of these things?
I don't know. I see one.
No.
There's 3 positions?
Well, it's accounts payable, it's payroll, and it's assisting with HR onboarding.
Is this Song who's gonna be doing all this?
No, Renee does that right now.
Renee does it.
So it's really just making sure that her job.
Because Renee wasn't part of the, yeah. So we're adding, we want to add is just Renee's position? Okay.
Right now.
It's additional $400, I would recommend.
Yeah, okay. I
No.
Recommend.
So why doesn't she have to apply for a job like we do?
She does, she's gonna have to, I mean, if her job
It's
description
just a
changes,
review.
yeah.
It's a review
It's
of
just
her
a
current
review of the
position.
current position.
Yeah.
So Randy does have a point there, though.
No, I mean, if we're changing the position, I mean, and then Randy, you,
Well, I've been doing this lead thing since Tony left and they never refilled his job.
yeah. And Michael.
Now I gotta apply for what I'm doing, so that's kinda.
Well, no, and I really don't want that. That's not Michael. He shining like, yes, put Randy in there. It's not anything to do with them. It's us as HR, because if that job isn't posted and we just put you in that position, as a municipality, we open ourselves up to a lawsuit. So we have to post it. We have to say, this is why Randy should be in
I
this
like
job.
that idea.
And that's it. And we're just covering our ass. And that's really all it is.
Well, and it'll benefit you too, because what if everybody who has that same position has the opportunity to apply.
Yep.
And that way there's gonna be, because if you just get put in that and they're like, I didn't have the opportunity.
That's all union work, you'd have to
Yeah.
do the job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be good for you because then everyone will be like, yes, you did, you followed through, you applied, you were the candidate that was selected. Versus saying, well, you were just putting it because of favoritism or discrimination or whatever, what have you. This all happens all the time. So it's just to protect the municipality and to protect you too. So looking at this is the job she's doing right now.
Yeah.
Was this the job she was hired to do? Is this a new
She was hired to do other things. Her job as a.
And this is
More
evolution.
over years.
Yeah, so, but she's taken on these, so this would be one that you definitely want to send in and get evaluated.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I recommend approval.
So
Wait a second. Hey, Robin's got me. Any further discussion?
But there's nobody else doing these, just to clarify for you the difference. She's the only one doing these roles. There's not multiple people doing this that would all be potentially interested in taking it, right? Okay.
You kick us out, Pam? I'll leave. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry?
You have 4 minutes left.
Oh, I know. All right, administrator,
I picked the wrong file to attach to this thing like he seemed to tend to do. So I did have a version of this with some photos and different wording.
so, yeah.
Send it out to the committee.
Thank you.
Sorry, Randy. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
This is the same thing that we looked at last
I
time.
sent it around to the committee and then the board. I guess I didn't know that we had to. We should get this out, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, we're trying to get it out.
Can I see it?
And now,
Can I forward this to you, Mike?
Yeah.
Can you put it up on the
can you
screen?
just bring it up? Yeah, could you do that?
Where's it saved?
It's under,
Well, no, we can't approve it anyway, because it's not in the packet then.
It's on the agenda though.
It's on the, yeah.
It is on the agenda, you're right. It needs to get.
it's under P
what,
Village HR. Administrator succession, it's on,
Yeah.
find it?
Working on it. The most recent thing in there,
It's,
the 322.
22.
Yep. There.
There it is.
I thought we were gonna put a picture of the new building up there.
Need to go a little farther, we'll see it.
Okay.
Well, there's a design of it.
Right,
Without snow.
we don't really have we don't have a photo yet without.
And now we have dirt.
Oh, we got mud on. I don't,
This is only gonna end up on our website, because we're not going through a FERT search firm. Those other
Yeah.
documents I showed you were from like a PAA, the company we're doing the job review with. Or government, GovHR or somebody like that who's doing the recruitment, they probably swear those flyers out to targeted individuals.
can you scroll down just a little more? Or is that it?
This will be the end of it, yeah.
So it's like,
How many pages total? 3?
It's 4 with the cover.
Well, the first pages.
there's a format.
Can you scroll down, yeah. Hold there, please.
It's easy to read.
So I got some help from was that Canva? Because I gave it my initial wording and then it gave a lot of different edit versions. And
You ladies see more applications.
As I was thinking about this, it would have been nice to have a rendering of the new Green Neck Charter Center, because Topgolf is gonna be there, it's gonna be a really cool community center, but maybe that's phase 2 if we don't get any applicants, if we need to refresh the posting just for future consideration. And I don't know how easy it is to get a rendering of that, but that's gonna, I think that'd be kind of a cool draw for somebody for the village.
You ladies see a lot more applications than I have, so.
Not an actual picture, that's just a rendering.
It's a rendering.
It's a rendering.
Yeah.
I put a nice
Yeah.
picture versus a rendering, because they're, yeah. So show that it's completed now.
Yeah, that would be my only thing. Is that the future building or is that the building we got or?
Picture
Is that the building we're gonna build or?
That's the rendering also, right? Yeah, because we didn't have a.
And maybe that picture should be first.
Or not there at all?
Parade.
I don't know.
I didn't like it.
Well, I was tying it in with the discussion about capital improvements
Yeah.
and building, actually. That's what, where it winds up in the narrative here.
I don't know. I haven't looked at an administrator posting. It seems like a lot more information than I guess
That's actually typical.
is it really?
Mhm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for this level position and
Oh.
if they want,
Yeah, where they're going, yes.
they're gonna wanna know all these details. They're gonna wanna know
Gotcha.
exactly, this is just in line with everything I've ever seen.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like the template, yeah, like you're saying.
Goes against everything.
They all are about 4 pages long,
Mhm.
and about the same.
In the private sector, right, we don't.
I know.
Yeah. All right, well, you ladies.
It goes against everything I've ever learned.
Okay. I'm not the only one. Yeah, I don't.
For a
Because
public
I-
administrative
yeah.
But
position,
if
that's
I-
exactly
yeah.
what you, the village
That's good.
administrator.
Oh, that's what I was looking for, ideal candidate. Okay,
Yeah, that's the part I'm interested in.
Strong emotional
is,
intelligence, yeah, scroll down just a little bit.
From
Stop,
targeting
stop,
every
stop,
level
stop,
of
Michael, please.
applicants.
Maybe you want to include the word influencer in there.
TID is what?
Tax incremental district.
Tax increment district, yeah.
You know, I would also love to see, I would like someone with an HR background or some kind of HR knowledge or
Experience
some kind of HR supervisory
is
leadership.
that down, is that the next
Yeah,
page?
something that, where they work with HR.
There you go, qualifications, keep going. Hold up, please. Bachelor's degree, public administration.
Yeah, the leadership experience piece is
Yeah.
critical.
Leadership
Yeah.
experience, business. You
So
want
call
to?
it 8 human resources,
Maybe call it supervisory HR knowledge gained from, I don't know, can we go back?
resource
I don't know, I would think
management.
it'd be implied with the leadership.
I think it's a side
Yeah.
of leadership, and I think we can dive in
Yeah.
and see the.
During
I know a lot
interviews.
of leaders that don't know about HR. I mean, hopefully they know about supervising people. but-
Yeah,
But that's a skill set where there's no HR director here, because in a
Yeah.
big organization, you have
That's
an
a really
HR
good point.
director.
yeah, there
Here
is a
you
point.
don't, I mean, this happened up in Merrill where they had, and it went downhill without having
Yeah.
that knowledge and that background, to the point that they even hired their next person, had to have a strong HR background because of,
Yeah, that's a really good point. Can you scroll back up? I'm sorry, Michael. Stop, please.
it wasn't Merrill, it was.
Ideal
like-
candidate, so skills and experience, some HR, or
I would just say HR knowledge or HR, you know.
maybe,
So just in that sentence structure here, somewhere just put human resources
Mhm.
management.
Yeah.
debt management?
Yeah, human resources.
resources.
Experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because, yeah, the job description actually lists the HR stuff in it too,
Okay.
not the job announce.
where's the job description?
But the job
Oh, we
description.
have-
Job description that's in the
Okay.
packet.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well,
Well,
that's
then
good.
good, then it's covered,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's referenced as a link off of the.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys want to look at that real quick, the job description? Okay.
No.
I feel really good with it. Can we?
I thought we already looked at it.
Yeah, we did. That's why I was thinking.
Like,
Back in the back.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so can we, we'll recommend, approval of this, recommend it to board for approval. So motion to recommend the board for approval for the, I'm sorry, hold on a second, this is the, what did you have this title here? Because I thought you had a session.
Oh,
Approve the announcement with the addition of the reference to human resource management as a.
Are we, oh, I'm sorry.
job description. I didn't know,
No,
yeah,
yeah,
this is
it's
a job
in-
description.
it's in the-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to change anything if it's in the job description.
Yeah, so, recommend, like the motion, recommend, the board. Or the,
Who seconded it? Was it Wyland? Okay, thank you.
yeah, I guess. Okay, last, but not least, what do we got here? It's, village strategic plan.
So if you just, this would be, I guess, for further information. We don't have to discuss. this.
I took a look at this and this is something I'd actually like to, schedule a meeting, with you on. This is their packet, this is not your packet, right? This is what they gave us.
This is what was.
This right here, this right here. Did you build this or did they build this?
Well, we built the final document, but as far as what's in there is what was approved through our workshops
I'm
and
just
all
asking
that.
to put it together.
I'm sorry?
I'm just asking. who-
This was
is
from
not-
the consultant, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I haven't, yeah, we'll just, I don't think there's any action that needs to actually be made on this, is there?
Well, I guess what I was pointing out, this has been adopted by the board.
Yeah,
So I was just pointing out that one of the strategic initiatives in here is engaged workforce or energized workforce, I think it is.
yeah.
So there's some initiatives in here that, of course, we would probably need we want to probably build some additional initiatives within, but
Yeah.
this is the template, I guess, or the basic goals that were set out in, meetings with the board, meetings with staff,
What page is that,
focus
Mike?
groups and from the.
56 of the packet.
That's what we did on that retreat day.
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah.
I don't think you were there.
No, I wasn't, I was not.
So it's more of a.
Energized workforce, so what I would love to see is from the directors, how they plan on energizing their
This
workforce.
was developed by input from
That's
the
where-
directors.
Yeah, I know,
That's
so
how we're
what,
gonna do it, are these key outcomes.
Yeah, so that's the
upbeat.
next,
So we should be looking at the strategic
how do
initiative.
you gauge that?
what's that?
How do you gauge that?
Well, of course, I mean.
I don't,
this
you
is
know,
gonna be-
people make fluff into things and it sounds great but I mean, like, how do you put your pulse on that? How do you quantify it, and I know from talking to people here that for the most part, they're happy, but
Well, do you do a employee?
yeah.
Yeah.
They go
Yeah,
in
so
there
you
fed
should-
anyway.
That should be and I do outcomes and
Yeah,
evaluations.
we had to come up with ways to gauge it.
Yes, what you're asking is
Yeah.
help with the strategic initiatives that are gonna help you get there.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the next step that we
Yeah.
need to take, so. we
Wanna start with your
should work on this and.
So is there something you want to bring to the HR meeting next month regarding this energized work?
Could, sure. Need to-
Honestly, as a
we need to
committee, I'd
start
rather
making
be working
progress, I
on these
guess.
types
Yeah.
of things
Yes.
than some of the other things we've been working on.
Well, there's 5 strategic initiatives that you are going to use to get you to your desired outcome, which is good. These are really good.
They are good.
Yeah.
They are.
So which one, if you look at the 5, because I wouldn't tackle them all at once. Otherwise, you're not gonna do as good of a job, because these are hefty strategic initiatives.
Yeah, they are.
These are all big undertakings. What's your priority? Because I don't think it's I don't think that's the priority or
Right.
order.
Yeah. don't
I
think
mean,
so.
what is your priority order on these?
Well, I actually, if you keep paging down, this is strategic priority number 1.
Energized workforce?
Yeah. So on the strategic initiative, which was.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, well, to me, that looks like this is our.
Number 1 is to energize the workforce, not community development
No. it's-
or responsible
No, it's
growth.
just there.
It's not saying that this is the
It's not the
order.
priority.
It's just the order they're presented.
I see, okay,
I know it
okay.
does. Taken out of context.
Strategic priorities,
I
which is,
wanna-
we call them
Yeah.
pillars where I work at. These are our pillars of what we focus on. We have 5
Yeah.
pillars we work on. So on your strategic initiatives for an energized workforce, you've got 5 different strategies you're gonna be working on. And looking at those, you're looking to this committee to help you with direction on some of those? Is that, sorry?
Well, or as we work on refining them, I guess certainly work with the committee on that, yeah.
Yeah?
You have to,
Prioritizing and,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's.
so it isn't necessarily to resolve this, it's just put it out there so
Yeah,
you know it's
yeah,
there
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
want to,
Have you-
study it or.
Have you guys met as directors and gone through the strategic plan? As far as, I mean,
We've done a little bit, we know we need to go back, we know we need to get back and do a more focused, say, set of goals on reaching certain initiatives here.
This is last month we got this, right?
I'm sorry?
This is last month we got this
Was last month
from RAP?
from the board, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not necessarily asking for any action tonight.
Yeah.
Again, just.
Can we put this on the agenda for next month? What I would like,
Some of these things are already in progress too.
I was just gonna say,
Because
like, do you
we-
have
like-
state reviews already? Do you have
I
engagement
was
surveys
teamed up
created?
with Sean and Michael, and I know like one of the target on, like, if you look at strategic priority number 2, the target asset management software fully implemented, that's already
In process.
It's
yeah.
correct.
Yeah, but I think this committee is not focused on that.
No.
They'd be focused on the engagement.
Yeah,
Sure.
something
From
else.
the HR
Absolutely.
perspective, I'm assuming.
So we'll put that, we'll focus on that.
Or maybe kind of prioritize of which ones should get attention first, and, because some
Yeah.
of them look like they should build into each other. even
Yeah,
at this.
and I think, I guess that's my ask for the next HR meeting is that, if you guys get a chance to take a look at this.
Yeah.
And just weigh in on, bring something with you as far as,
It'd be nice to know what you currently do, like, do you
Yeah.
conduct state interviews? Do you conduct employee engagement surveys? Do you do any of that stuff right now? And if so, is it just internally built, which is great, that is great. It's
Right,
something.
like, what's our baseline? What are we
Yeah.
starting
Are we
with?
starting at ground zero, so we have to be able to measure it?
Yeah.
We got
I know there have been some done in the past.
How long ago?
It's gotta be.
Well, we had quite a bit of staff involvement during the planning process of this, did we not? There was quite a bit of the staff that showed up to these meetings.
Department directors.
None of the staff? I thought some of the staff did.
It didn't involve the staff so much. Though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to do that.
Did we get a lot of good response on our internet or our website survey yet? I saw that came out last week.
I didn't follow up with Nate. I know he said he put something out.
Okay, all right,
I'm just curious.
next HR meeting. Do you guys, is 5 okay? Do we have to do, is 5:30 a little better for you? I know 5 was kind of tight.
Today was just a bad day.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here. I just got tied up, but.
Is it, well, we can do 5:30.
No, I would have been fine if they weren't in budget, so.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, are we good with 5?
I'm good with 5.
Okay.
Yeah, if we-
Let's pick,
We
let's
won't be,
pick,
budget has to close soon,
Just-
so.
are we gonna try to stick to first Monday of the month?
Yes.
Okay, let's stick to the first Monday, so that would be, May the 1st. At 5 PM.
I
I don't know if
can,
anything is, I guess what I
there's
should.
compensation on there. I
back.
turned it in.
I suppose.
5 PM, Monday, May the 1st. Appreciate everybody getting through that.
Yes.
And all the work everybody's done. So I think we're finally, hopefully getting there. Anybody got anything?
So it says 5 to 6, is that? Spot on.
Yeah, right.
I've attended a few that we got.
We did. We had a couple there. We were moving real good.
The way we did.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time we get comp, I go.
I know.
"Ooh,
Me too.
I'm gonna be there all night.
I know.
So,
Motion to adjourn.
yeah, if we had any comments from the committee or from the staff?
Just that we have an open house for the building here on May 13th scheduled.
13th?
May 13th.
May 13th is a Saturday.
It is, yeah, no, I got that, starting at 10. I got 10.
You'll be receiving. Postal patrons will be receiving a copy of the postcard.
You guys got a shredder? That's where that belongs.
Are you doing social media for the announcement as well?
Of which one?
Social media?
The what?
Administrator?
For the administrator? Is that
Yeah, where's it
right?
going?
Yeah, we can, yeah. we
And then it
will.
gets put on Indeed and
Okay, but what about
Facebook.
Facebook?
Facebook next door, those will share it
And all
too.
that? Okay.
Who does our Facebook?
LinkedIn,
We should put it on
Nate?
LinkedIn.
Everybody,
LinkedIn,
Everybody kind of keys into it? Well, some companies are like that.
everybody.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine.
we'll go on
So
LinkedIn.
don't look at any park stuff, because it's all boring, because that's me.
I mean, that's my most.
Well, I does some too during season, but
Yeah,
get out and vote tomorrow.
yeah.
Absolutely.
He was here to vote. That's who I was talking to. He was here to vote. He said he went to Weston Lanes. The election was today.
He's a day early.
Oh, wow. Early.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I need a motion
I
to
would have
adjourn.
gone to Dale's.
Motion by, Wyland,
Second.
second, Robin's got the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay. so
Opposed,
your
which
turn.
carries. Anything else?
Instead of-
should have all received a postcard and